All right, Eddie, what are your keys to the game?
Well, you know, look, it's winding down. I mean, it's evident that this team has to come out and be focused every night. You know, we're in a playoff mode, no doubt about it. And against the New Orleans Hornets, you have to defend the two-man game. It's no doubt about it. Chris Paul is the catalyst here. Now that David West is out, who's going to step in and take their responsibility? But the two-man game defensively is huge.
Chris Paul in the first 2 games this year scored 26 points in each of those. He is a 4-time All-Star starter this year for the West. Derek Stafford, Nick Buchert, and Zach Zarba, the 3 officials. And here we go. A must-win situation. Suns got to find a way to win this one and get ready for the Mavs who come in here on Sunday. Here is Chris Paul. He was out for a couple of games with a concussion, but he has come back, storming back. Bellinelli, who came over to trade from Toronto, is a gifted 3-point shooter. Now they're going to start Nash out on Bellinelli, it looks like.
Well, you know, to try to take the pressure off early on from guarding Chris Paul.
And Carl Landry, who is a moose inside. I mean, he is tough inside, replacing the injured David West. He is a guy who will camp down inside and give you a lot of trouble. Here's Grant Hill, who seems to be feeling even better than he did, except for the fact that Duke got beat. The ball comes out now to Bellinelli. Bellinelli, who came from Italy, a guy who was drafted by Toronto in the first round and has been traded a couple of times. From outside, shot on the way and dead center. There's Landry.
That's David West's shot right there. And if he's knocking that down, then it's almost like David West is still here.
Well, Landry's capable of that. You know, Eddie, he's had some big games. Here's Nash from the corner. 3-ball not there. Ariza tips it over to Emeka Okafor. Chris Paul, who's in his 6th year out of Wake Forest. He was the NBA Rookie of the Year coming out of the ACC and has continued on now with 4 All-Star appearances. Out it comes to Paul. Paul is a guy who earlier this season had back-to-back games. He had 60 points and 25 assists. Bellinelli, follow away, not able to get a rebound by Carter. Out it comes to Grant Hill, leaking out early, so he's feeling good again. That's a patented Hill move.
And then you have cross matchups. You know, Chris Paul has to try to find Steve Nash in transition. If not, Grant Hill's going to shake loose.
There's Trevor Ariza from outside. He had 14 points last night. A guy who won 1 NBA championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. 5-2, the Hornets with the early lead. Steve Nash, who has just been simply brilliant at home, averaging the last 17 home games, 12.5 assists. That ball inside deflected out. And we're going to have a foul called on Robin Lopez, and he's upset. He's going to get teed up. He got teed up. He had a motion towards Derek Stafford, and Stafford did not ignore it. And Robin's got a tee along with a foul.
That's the wrong guy to wave off, no doubt about it, because he will tee you up in a hurry. But I thought no foul. I mean, both guys got the basketball. Vince Carter put him in that position by not going to the bucket with 2 hands. A one-handed attempt lost the basketball, and now Robin Lopez not only gets a foul, but his pocket is lighter as well.
Paul, an 89% free throw shooter. He's 10th in the league. After that technical, interestingly enough, Grant Hill came over and talked very quietly to Derek Stafford, patted him on the back and walked away, just trying to reestablish that, hey, just don't take anything personally here.
Early on, get control.
Here's Paul. This is a 3-ball, and it's going to be short. Nash tracks it down. Steve Nash coming in here now, 2nd in assists. He fell behind Rondo, who is 1/10 of percentage point more in the game. Tipped outside, got a loose ball foul, and that's going to be on Lopez again.
Yeah, that time he was rooting him underneath the bucket before the ball hit the rim. And Robin Lopez has to be careful. I don't know if Alvin Gentry will go to Gortat. I mean, because Robin's not going to play a ton of minutes anyway. He has to get his head right into this game.
I agree with you. Lopez the other night played under 15 minutes, and are you kidding me? Is that what I think's happened? Is that the 3rd foul on him? It is.
He might as well just go to the locker room.
Oh, my gosh, I've never seen something like this.
He might as well just go to the locker room.
And they're going to have to get him off the floor. Gortat will come in, and Robin Lopez, in a case of 2 minutes, has picked up 3 fouls.
Wow. Mark West at his finest.
Boy, I tell you, that's not what Robin needed. He's trying to build his confidence up. He had an 8.6 rebound game against Toronto, but he will be sitting for some time now. I don't think I've ever seen a guy pick up 3 fouls quicker at the start of a ball game.
Not at all. In the fashion that he got, and then a technical foul at that, so equivalent to really 4 fouls.
Landry missed everything, got the air ball, and Nash comes back the other way. Hornets up 6-2. Very bizarre beginning to this game. Out it comes to Nash, and that's a three. Steve Nash connecting. Nash coming in here 28th in the league in three-point shooting.
And I think he's going to have to be offensive-minded against Chris Paul, who will take up the slack of David West not being here.
Here's Bellinelli. Bellinelli kicks it out now to Ariza. Trevor Ariza, who hit one earlier, misses here. Fry had to go up for the rebound, couldn't quite control it. Landry does. Back tap by Okafor. Off to Paul. Inside goes Ariza, and he's going to be fouled. You look at this team. They are first in the league in giving fewest second chance points. I mean, they will get on the boards.
Yeah, and they know that that's the way to slow the Suns down. So you can bet Okafor and Landry, they're going to attack the glass relentlessly, just relying on the other three guys to get back to negate the break.
Suns have already picked up 4 fouls, 3 of which went to Robin Lopez. Sign up for My Suns Mobile, powered by Verizon, to receive special Suns offers and promotions. Visit Suns.com for more information. Standard message rates apply. So Ariza, a guy who is a 69% free throw shooter, able to get the first to go. And it is now an 8-5 lead for the Hornets, who come in here 41-31. They're 17-20 on the road. They've won 6 of their last 9 games, including the overtime win in Utah last night. Nash, skip pass, comes over to Fry. Fry's first attempt. Got it! Boy, I tell you, Channing Frye continues to sizzle. Since his return, Eddie, he is averaging 20.5 points.
And not a great pass to set up a shooter, but he is just so good and quick at getting that shot off, it didn't matter.
Boy, you expect it to go in. It seems like every time he shoots. It's tied at 8 now. Paul brings it out. Bellinelli trying to match the three. Can't. Gortat with a rebound. Bellinelli's one of those guys who's either hot or cold. There's no in between.
Exactly.
Nash outside now, picked up by Paul, and Grant Hill bounces off of Bellinelli. Did a little pirouette outside into Gortat. That left-hand hook is short, but he's really used that left hand effectively.
Doesn't really need that over Ariza. I think just power him in and at least draw a foul and get the and one.
Here's Ariza outside. Ariza played 1 year at UCLA, came to the league as a second-round pick of the Knicks. Off to Landry. Landry coming over to trade from Sacramento for Marcus Thornton. Left it short. So Landry in the early going is 1 of 6 shooting. Nash follow away, and that was kind of an awkward looking shot. He gets it back. Grant Hill measures and hits. Grant Hill now off to a very good start. 2 of 2 in the ball game.
Well, and good to see him feeling good. I mean, you know, sick the other night, now back spry, obviously guarding Chris Paul.
So a 5-0 run now by the Suns. Bellinelli kicks it off to Ariza. And got back out Bellinelli. It doesn't look like he's very confident right now, and I say that he hits it. He passed up a shot earlier and took this one.
Well, you know, he has no choice. I mean, the Suns are helping and running, and he's wide open, and that can't continue because 1 or 2 of those, all of a sudden, he's on fire.
11-10, the Hornets with the lead. Their biggest lead has been 4. Nash backing up. Ball is screened out by Gortat. 10 on the shot clock. Gortat went up with the left hand again, partially blocked. They get it back. Fry, another 3. Not this time. Okafor comes down to the rebound. Emeka Okafor having a very solid year. He's a double-double guy, very effective player. Got hurt the last time they came here. Had a left oblique injury, and it ended a streak of 305 consecutive games. And then Paul is decked as he and Hill collide. That was an awkward-looking play. So the foul is going to go against Grant Hill. Let's watch this again. This is really a strange collision.
Well, Paul trying to slither between 2 screens. And this got crossed up on Grant Hill's foot in a crowd, and they give him the foul.
Well, we talked about 2 premier guards. We have the number 2 and the number 4 assist guy coming into the league. Rondo retook the lead after Nash the other night ended up with only 8 assists, playing fewer minutes in the ball game. But Nash trying to lead the league in assists 5 of the last 7 seasons. That's a remarkable accomplishment.
Especially with the player changes. He's had to adjust his game in season a few times, but yet still up there in assists.
That's a very good point. 4 of 5 now, the Hornets from the free throw line. And they're calling it pretty tight in there right now. A holding foul inside.
Well, and I think they realize this is a playoff atmosphere type game. They know the Suns are trying to catch the Hornets. They understand the Hornets a little bit beaten up now. They played last night, so they're going to blow quick whistles, obviously.
That was on Bellinelli, his first foul of the night. Fry brings it out now to Nash, into Carter, and he's hooked up with Bellinelli, and he's picked up 2 quick fouls. Marco Bellinelli coming over to trade with the Raptors for Julian Wright, his 3rd team in 4 years, averaging a career-high 10 points a game, and now coming in to replace him is going to be Willie Green, a veteran who came over from the Philadelphia Sixers this year. Green's had some pretty good ball games. He started 13 games for him and averaged about 12 points a game when he was in the starting role when Chris Paul was hurt and they needed his services.
Well, he can score the ball, and he's a very aggressive player as well.
Here's Carter, dumps it into the corner, shot by Grant Hill, 3, got it. Grant Hill with his 35th 3 of the year, and Hill has 7 points in 6 minutes.
I bet about 30 of those come from that corner.
I think you're right. That's his spot. Suns are 3 of 4 behind the line, and throwing it away is going to be the Hornets. Timeout, 5:48 to go. The Suns, after falling behind early now, led by this guy, have a 1-point lead as the veteran is back and healthy.
He's really picked it up. I mean, this guy, he basically dominates the game across the board, and he has done it consistently since he's been in the league. I mean, he just picks and chooses when he wants to dominate, and trust me, sometime during this game, he is going to try to do just that, and the Suns have to be ready.
Well, they struggled last year. He missed 37 games, and they're just not the same team as you would expect. Rebound is cleared by Willie Green. 13-12 Suns. Off it comes in the corner now to Ariza. Ariza will launch a 3, not able to get it. Grant Hill tips it to himself. Good job by Grant. Grant today being humiliated a little bit, had to wear the University of Arizona attire after Channing Frye's Wildcats beat the Blue Devils.
Wow, that was a whooping,
wasn't it? And Vince Carter. Boy, does Carter need to get it going. Eddie, prior to that, he hit only 19 of his last 56 shots.
Just struggling, thinking about it. He got into a groove where I thought he was shooting the ball well, and again, he is back into that area where every shot is a struggle.
And there's a strip by Carter. And Carter then, as he goes up the floor, is fouled. So trying to make up for his lack of accuracy shooting the ball, comes up with a steal.
And a lot of times, that's what gets you back in rhythm, is maybe getting some rebounds, getting a steal, getting your mind off of having to make a shot to get your momentum.
Coming into the ball game now is a 7-footer Jason Smith. He's number 14. He played at Colorado State. And he's had some pretty good games for the Hornets. Here's Nash outside, off to Hill. Hill lost the handle. Off it goes to Ariza. Hill's going to make a move. The ball just wouldn't go with it. That's the first turnover against the Suns. There's a turnover against Chris Paul. He met the Okafor inside. Emeka, that's a pretty tough catch for a big guy.
Yeah, a tough look. But only Chris Paul and Steve Nash will attempt a pass like that one.
Look at that graphic. Hill's 3 of 3. The rest of the team 2 for 12 here in the early going. Somebody's going to have to come along. Grant Hill in the corner to Hill. Hill goes baseline on Green. Beautiful reverse. Oh, that would have been pretty had it gone.
Tried to avoid the charge and cost himself on the bucket.
Oh, was that pretty, though. And there is Green, and that shot didn't look good. Thus far, 21% shooting for New Orleans. The Suns at 31%. The Suns still have a 1-point lead. It hasn't been pretty here in the early going. Up it comes to Fry. Fry with a mismatch against Green. Green cannot handle this.
Well, Channing made it, but boy, did he take up a lot of ground to operate on the guy he had 5 inches on.
It counts, though, doesn't it? He now has 5 points. Mentioned Channing Frye since he's come back from those 5 games, averaging 20.5 points. There's Paul missing, tipped up and in. Sneaking behind everybody was Ariza.
Just wiry and athletic. You have to put a body on him early.
Ariza is the type of guy who is fearless. He will not shoot the ball that well, but he doesn't lack any confidence. Smith fouls Grant Hill. Here's Channing Frye, that move, that left-handed move a moment ago.
Well, they decided not to double, and it gave him an opportunity to just go right across the lane, and he's not going to get that every time. He's going to operate on that side. Don't expect to be able to get all the way across like that again.
So Grant Hill will go to the free throw line. He's an 84% free throw shooter. Let's go to Mark McClune, the third member of our team. Mark?
Yeah, guys, the whole team watched the Duke-Arizona game at Robert Sarver's yesterday. Everybody except Grant Hill, who was recovering from that upset stomach. He tweeted out that he was fine until the second half, and then the upset stomach came roaring back. And then you saw him walking in today, maybe in the pregame show. He had the Arizona shirt on, but he covered it up with a long-sleeve shirt, said it was the NBA dress code.
But I understand, though, he has to wear it for another day because he didn't come in the right attire. That's what I was told before the start of the game. We'll find out. Channing Frye is not going to give him any relief. There's a poked away ball. Nash down the middle, creates, and no one there. Nash a little late on that decision. Very seldom do you see that.
Well, and Vince Carter has to know to get separation. Too close together. He and Channing Frye on that break.
Second turnover against the Suns. New Orleans with 4 here in the early going. Here's Chris Paul. Into the corner it goes. Jason Smith, for a 7-footer, can shoot it pretty well. Back tap comes out. Okafor got a piece of it.
You got to get a body on that guy. He's volleyballing the ball backwards.
Here's Willie Green, who played at Detroit and Mercy. He's the only player ever come out of that college in the NBA, and he got the bounce. It's a savvy player. Suns lead, cut back to 1. Nash outside. Nash here in the early going has 3 assists and 3 points, and also, interestingly enough, 3 rebounds. Trying now to shake the man outside. The ball to Gortat, and a reach-in foul that's going to go on Chris Paul. Paul in a mismatch. That's a 15 foul against the Hornets, as Paul has picked up his first of the night. Well, I tell you what, Warwick beat the Kansas Jayhawks. Remember that big play he made in the championship game? Let's go over to Mark. Mark?
Yeah, and Alvin Gentry on that staff of Kansas in 1988, he said that Arizona this season reminds him a lot of that Kansas team in 1988 with Danny Manning, because all you got to do is get on a roll, and the Cats are on a roll right now.
Boy, Derek Williams is. He was something, wasn't he?
He elevated himself maybe to the first pick in the draft in 1 game.
So Gortat at the free throw line, and Gortat able to get both of them. Suns up 19-16. The Suns are now 4-4 from the free throw line. Willie Green brings it out to Ariza. New Orleans playing without David West. If you just joined us, he got hurt last night late in the game. Tore his ACL and his left knees out for the season. That ball rejected by Channing Frye. Good block by Frye. Outstanding effort. Here goes Nash the other way. Out to Dudley. Passed up the shot. Out it comes to Frye. Back to Dudley. Here he'll launch one and got it. I like that. Well, they reset it for him.
Is it me, or just every time Jared hits a 3, the crowd cheers louder?
Well, he's a fan favorite. Yeah. We all know that.
Maybe that's it.
He's not only a fan favorite, he's a teammate favorite, too.
Yeah.
The team loves it. So he hit the 3 at his 7th dunk in the last game. His goal for the year is 10, and as Eddie said, he thinks he'll get more than that. Here's Willie Green floating to the hole. Tough shot. Gortat with a rebound. Nash coming back the other way. 3 on 2. Dudley goes up and he's fouled. It's going to be on Ariza, I believe. Yes, both he and Paul collapsed on him. They also thought there should be goaltending.
Oh, yeah, I think it is. I mean, because Chris Paul, I think, hit him, and the ball hit the backboard. And I think Ariza took it away, but you know, there's the 3 right there from Jared Dudley. But I'm telling you,
let's look at it again, Eddie.
That's goaltending.
Sure
that's
is.
Goaltending.
Well,
all day long.
And the crowd sees it. Alvin Gentry sees it. And Alvin Gentry just went ballistic. He is talking to Dick Buchert in a less than peaceful way as Dudley misses a free throw. Dan Marley got up by Alvin, trying to calm him down just a little bit. But that was quite obvious, a goaltend. No debate. Jarrett Jack will now come into the ball game. This guy's played very well since coming over in a trade, also from Toronto, for Jared Bayless, who we saw the other night, along with Peja Stojakovic, who's now with the Dallas Mavericks. Grant Hill will leave, and what a start for Grant Hill. 9 points in 11 minutes, and he was 3 of 4 shooting, 1 of 1 behind the line.
Well, and guarding Chris Paul as well.
And there is Dudley hitting the second one. Dudley still complaining. He thought he should have gotten a goaltend. Suns up 23-16, their biggest lead of the ball game. Ariza brings it out to Willie Green. Green will try from outside and hit it. That is going to be a 2.
He's looking at the rim.
Yes, he is.
Coming in very aggressive.
He is a scorer. I'll tell you, he's a savvy vet who has really filled in well in his years in the NBA. Here's Josh Childers, who's coming to the ball game now, playing with Michael Petrus out tonight with the quadricep injury to his tendon, and there's a rejection by Okafor. No debate on that, though. There was not goaltending there. Here's Nash going in. Gortat got it to go as the shot clock expires.
Well, because Steve Nash has a clock in his head. He knew that he can get the pass off, and Gortat would have time to finish it.
That block by Okafor was his 115th of the season. Ariza from outside, and New Orleans is really struggling shooting the ball. They're shooting 27%. Suns are back up now to 40. 25-18 into Gortat. Green got him.
See, he does such a good job, Gortat, of avoiding the contact. Green trying to get a charge, but you know, early on when he first came here, he would run guys over. He's starting to learn now. He has to identify what a defense is, and he avoids it.
Aaron Brooks is going to come in now for Steve Nash. Go back to your point, Eddie, and it's a good one. Is that as strong as Gortat is, he still has that agility to do what you just said.
Exactly.
Suns fans, are you on Twitter? Be sure to use the hashtag #GoSuns, and your tweets just might make it on the air during halftime of tonight's broadcast, courtesy of Right Guard. For news, notes, and special offers, follow us at twitter.com/Phoenix Suns. Gortat rocks solid. I tell you, New Orleans coming off of that overtime win last night left their offense, I believe, in Utah.
Well, that was a gift. I mean, that shot by Okafor at the end. I mean, no way they should have won that game.
A 20. By the way, we've just been handed a note as Green is able to hit. Now Green's trying to carry this team. He hit another one outside as Green now 1 of 1 behind the line. From the corner, Aaron Brooks, that would have counted had it gone. We just were told that Memphis lost to the Chicago Bulls. And so the Grizzlies at the start of the night, 3 games up on the Suns. 27-21. 1 quarter in the books. And the Suns trying to win their 21st game at home, their 4th in their last 5 outings, have the advantage by 6. As we're going to show you the standings after a while. Memphis, as we said, losing tonight to Chicago, and their next game's against the Spurs, so they could be in a heap of trouble as Aaron Brooks connects, picking up where he left off the other night.
That 3-game lead can be erased in a hurry.
It really can, and Memphis, of course, without Rudy Gay for the rest of the season. He was declared out, surgery on that left shoulder. Ariza dumps it in now to Carl Landry, who's come back in. Akeem Warwick in for the Suns. And it's going to be a foul on Akeem as he bodied up with Carl Landry.
You got to force Landry out early and then back off of him, give him that jump shot. Once you allow him to post up so close, he is dirt strong. That's what I call him. He's a dirt strong guy. He's going to back you down.
That was a Cotton Fitzsimmons phrase, wasn't it? Dirt strong, dirt worker. I don't know, maybe it was both. Out it comes now to Jared Jack. Jack is the guy who played at Georgia Tech, able to hit the shot. Every time he plays, I see him play well. He's kind of an underrated player. 29-23.
Cerebral point guard, not going to force the issue. Will take what you give him.
Aaron Brooks is coming off that 25-point game, and we have a caught in the lane 3 seconds against Carl Landry and the Hornets. Here's what we were talking about, Eddie. Now this is up to date as Memphis losing tonight. Now up 3.5 games as we speak. Houston, how about them? They've won 5 in a row. And a lot of people thinking now with David West out, the Hornets might be the best team for the Suns to catch.
Well, I still think it's Memphis. I think Memphis has to prove that they can hold on to that spot. That experience might overcome them. They've done it before in the past. And I think, to me, they're the team that might fall.
Interesting. Now it comes down to Dudley. Can't handle it. Gortat led him too far on that one. Suns now have turned it over 3 times. Just underway, second quarter with Eddie Johnson. I'm Gary Bender, David Hughes, our producer, and Dan Siekman, our director. As the Suns tonight trying to move within 3 games of Memphis, and it would be 2 games of the loss column down to this Hornets team. Aaron Brooks comes back. The bench for the Suns has been good, and here's Gortat trying to add to it. They lead the league since the All-Star break. As you know, they're coming off of 63 points against Toronto. There's the follow inside. Landry, that's what he does best.
You know, Hakeem Ward has to put a body on Landry. He can't rely on your athletic ability. He is going to back you up under the bucket.
30-25. You can see offensive rebounds. The Hornets getting the better of that. Brooks slams the ball down. He's got to be careful to get teed up on that one.
Yeah, you know, he did that just trying to be slick and bounce it into the bucket, but you know, he got suspended for throwing the ball at an official, so he's got to earn his way in terms of the officials and not buy into it and let them think he's doing something else.
The rookie from the University of Washington, Quincy Poindexter's checked in. He's a guy that was drafted the first round by Oklahoma City and traded over for the likes of Cole Aldridge and Morris Peterson. Here he is. He was an outstanding player for the Huskies as he led the Huskies in scoring, was third in the Pac-10, first team all Pac-10 pick.
Nice little jump hook there over Josh Childress.
He hasn't played very much. 3-point lead now for the Suns. Gortat. There's some nice steady face-up jumper we're so familiar with. Gortat now has 8 points in the ball game. Into the offensive end will come Jack. Inside, 9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Green trying to get an open shot. Dudley staying on top of him. 10 on the shot clock. Dave Dudley's doing a nice job defensively. Green had to work for that and couldn't get it.
Yeah, one-on-one right there. And Jared Dudley answered the challenge.
Aaron Brooks coming back the other way. Boy, Brooks going to be so big in this stretch run for the playoffs. The way he's been playing as of late. Hakeem Warwick face up. Not there. Rebound is cleared by Poindexter.
That's the shot he's got to work on over the summer. I mean, he has to learn to knock down that 15-footer.
He has been very good in the pick and roll and the dunks, but you're right, he needs to extend his shooting range, and Landry's extended his, and Landry was 6 points in the ball game. It's a 3-point game. They're kind of hanging around despite their shooting woes, and Brooks just nailed a beautiful three. That was something to see, off balance, and he got it anyway.
Well, he can raise over the crowd at his size and get a good look at the rim anywhere on the court.
Suns are 5 of 6 now behind the line, and that's going to be a blocking foul on Brooks. Okay, Aaron Brooks was the most improved player in the league last year. Had some brilliant games for the Houston Rockets, and now carrying it over into the Valley of the Sun.
Exactly, finding his way on this team, understanding he is here to score. Aaron Brooks off the bench, he's been very good.
Steinke, Aaron Brooks told our Brad Steinke before the game that he went to call a play the other night. He called a 5-3, and nobody knew what it was because the play was actually a 5-3 up. Now, you two have been around the game for a while. How long does it take a guy traded in the middle of the season to really get acclimated to a team, especially a point guard?
Well, point guard, it takes a long time, and probably never will until next training camp because there's so many plays. Then he has to know every position in terms of where these guys are going to be. Very difficult.
Yeah, and I tell you, one of the things that he's trying to do while he's learning is be more selfish. And that's what Alvin Gentry's wanting to do, take some shots, force some things. And he did that the last game as Hakeem Warwick goes in and draws a foul. Suns bench outscoring the Hornets right now, 18-13. They are #1 in the NBA for the entire season. And you look at what they've done the last 2 games, 61 points against the Raptors, 54 against the Lakers. I mean, They are something special. Coach Alvin Gentry looking sharp tonight in his clothes from the Clothery at Biltmore Fashion Park, 24th Street in Camelback. And a shout out to Greg and Tom and all the people down there.
You know, late in the year, you need it from the bench. I mean, because the starter's a little bit beat up, a little tired. And so the Suns right now doing the job. Alvin Gentry historically has given the bench a lot of leeway and allowed them to play and play themselves out of trouble. And that's why the confidence is coming around.
And I tell you, he was forced to go to that after that long triple overtime loss to the Lakers. I mean, they had to come out and they responded. He turned the game over to the bench and they got it done. 36-32. Here's Jack, and Jack is keeping New Orleans around. New Orleans is shooting now 40%. They're starting to find the range. 2-point game. Here's Gortat. That's very typical of him. That's what, cycle 1, he's hit just like that. Gortat with 10 points already, double figures again.
Another day at the beach for him.
I guess so. And Bellinelli going inside and going to draw the foul. By the way, that gives me an opportunity, Eddie. There were some notes in the Suns' notes about the fact that, that you look at Gortat, 16 double-figure games in a row. You have the record for the Suns, 54.
He's got a long way to go.
It's gonna say. I mean, I saw that and I did a double take. That is a long ways to go.
But, I think he understands, and Aaron Brooks does as well. They both come off looking to score. And, if you just come up with a lot of different ways to get your numbers and get them in rhythm, you can have consistency in getting it done. And those two guys can do it.
Warwick connecting. You were just short of Joe DiMaggio. Remember, he had that 56-game hitting streak.
Yeah.
Should have gone 2 more, Eddie, and then, it would have even been more impressive.
I tried, trust me.
Bellinelli brings it out to Jarrett Jack. Jump stop. Not able to get it. Gortat inside, but we've got a foul. It's going to be on Warwick. They started to break up the floor. Derek Stafford whistled him to a dead stop. Grabbed him from behind.
Well, Akeem Warwick having a very difficult time with Carl Landry. Look, he's just pushing him up under the bucket because Akeem Warwick is not hitting him early. A guy like Landry, you got to go get him early and don't turn your back on him and allow him to just root you underneath the bucket.
That sounds like some kind of advice you'd have in a ring as a fighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it comes to Jack.
Punch him early. Punch him before he punches you.
Here comes Bellinelli. Feed to Okafor, and Gortat blocked it. Marcin Gortat got up there and got a piece of it. Channing Frye getting ready to come back in the ball game. Suns up by 6. Ward brings it back out to Brooks. Ward just picked up a moment ago his second foul of the night. And I tell you what, this guy is on track. Aaron Brooks now has 8 points in 7 minutes. Inside it goes Okafor. He's going to try it again. This time he used the rim to protect himself.
Yeah, they're just throwing it into he and Landry, and they're just taking up space.
They have another 7-footer in there right now. Aaron Gray, who came over from the Chicago Bulls. The guy's been playing a lot more lately. Played collegiately at Pittsburgh. And now Warwick upset about the fouls against him, trying to answer at the other end. His second field goal of the night. Frye was going to come in. Now he reports back to the bench area. Okafor, a little jump hook. Tipped up by Aaron Gray. Count it, and he's fouled. Timeout. Gortat earlier with a nice block inside. Alvin Gentry upset about the last call. Watch this inside.
Well, he does it all. He gives you the whole deal.
Last night out for the season. We're going to show you that game in Utah. And it's a left knee, tore his ACL.
Yeah, and you come down like that, nobody really hits you, you know.
And he was in a lot of pain.
Well, he knew. I think it was more the mental pain as well, understanding all the things that went through his head. Look, end of the year, we're trying to make a playoff run. I come down, I get hurt. I'm coming up on free agency. I mean, that hits you like a rock, and hopefully David West can come back 100% and be the same player he was before.
He had 24 points last night. Let's go over to Mark. Mark?
Yeah, he still seemed pretty devastated pregame, and he told the Hornets TV that that was the worst pain he'd ever felt in his life. West, a pretty tough guy. He boxes to keep himself in shape.
Yeah, that's right. He is a boxer, and they took him into the locker room, and I mean, it took a long time for him to just be able to get out of the training room after it was over. That ball over the back. Aaron Gray comes down to the rebound. Nash getting ready to come back in for the Suns. 44-38. Suns' biggest lead has been 9. Ariza brings it over now to Jarrett Jack. New Orleans team last year missed the playoffs. They won only 37 games, so they've already won 4 more than they did a year ago. And we've got a foul inside against Aaron Gray. And he's in disbelief.
Well, I think they got him for 3 seconds.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he camped in there for a while.
And that's exactly what. No, they all foul turnover. You're right. Yep. So Gray will sit down. Gray was a 2-time first-team All-Big East pick for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Boy, Pitt really got upset in that this year, didn't he?
Yeah, they hurt me.
They hurt you?
Yep.
And there's Channing Frye. Let's see, did Kansas win today, Eddie? Do you know?
I really don't care.
Fry connecting outside. Fry with 7 points. Well, you kind of, you and Grant Hill, I don't know what to do with you guys. Your team's losing. You just changes your personality.
Well, you put my team out. Different.
Here's Jack pulling up. Boy, Jack is solid. I mean, every time he plays, he seems to play well. He's got 7 points in 9 minutes. 6-point game.
Plays straight up and down. Not a lot of flair to his game, and I think because of that, he's able to really get himself in great position.
He is a guy who seems to be traded around a lot, but everywhere he goes, he makes an impact. Here's a Gortat look again. He's just wearing out that area. Couldn't get this one, though. Okafor comes down with his 6th rebound of the game. Paul brings it over to Ariza. Chris Paul had 26 points in the first 2 meetings with the Suns, and that's an air ball. Bad miss that time from the corner by Jared Jack. If we brag on him, he has an air ball.
Well, it's amazing when you step about 3 to 4 feet back, and all of a sudden you can't see the rim.
Hey, Eddie, going back to that 54-game streak where you had double digits, who did it end against? Do you remember?
Nope.
You don't remember the ones you don't score in?
Not at all.
Just the ones you did?
Obviously, I probably was not feeling good.
Here it's Gortat. And Gortat's feeling good. He has 12 points already in this ball game. 8-point lead now.
Look, when you're fed like a baby, and Gortat's fed like a baby, I mean, everything is wide open for him because of his offense and Steve Nash.
Yeah. You always have to add Steve Nash, don't you, at the end of the sentence? Out it comes now, and in the game is a guy from Australia, David Anderson, who misses. They get it back, and that's what they do well. I mean, they do a good job on second chance points. They're leading the league, and Paul connects, and they have 12 second chance points tonight. 48-42. In the corner, Nash creating for Gortat, out to Dudley. Good ball movement. Hill, 3-ball. Yes! I tell you, that was beautifully set up for Grant Hill, and Hill is 2 of 2 behind the line.
Unselfish play from Gortat. He's the one that got that ball rolling by his good pass across court.
Ariza in the corner now. Suns up 51-42. Paul trying to carry the team. Doesn't get this one. Chris Paul tonight has taken only 4 shots. Hill trying somehow to keep that ball alive. Went in, and Dudley gets hammered. Grant Hill earlier was really on an awkward move inside, but let's go back. Just a moment ago, Gortat, who has 12 points and 7 rebounds in this ball game.
Well, again, the great rotation in terms of getting to your area. And, hey, guys.
Suns have hit 10 of 15 shots in the second quarter. That translates into 67% with this lead. It's time for tonight's Flyby, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book a business select fare at southwest.com and fly through airport lines. The Flyby priority lane access. Gortat on the flyby on a feed from Channing Frye.
Channing Frye getting in on the act of finding his teammate on the pick and roll, and Gortat, again, fierce when he gets to the rim.
Well, it's always fun to watch Steve Nash play against his buddy Dirk Nowitzki, and that's what's going to happen this Sunday. We hope you'll be with us for the Mavs. Later start time, 7:30. Then they go to Sacramento, back against the Thunder and the Clippers, and on to San Antonio for an afternoon game on Sunday.
Yep.
Dudley will go to the line. Dudley playing his usual smart basketball, probably the best way to put it, cunning basketball, if you will. Always contributing. And he just got hammered a moment ago. And Dudley with the free throw now has 5 points in the game. Dudley had 25 points against the Hornets on March 16th when they played. He's had 13 games this year where he's had 15+ points, but that doesn't really tell the story on him, does it?
No, not at all. Points does not tell the story. I mean, it's ball movement, being in great position, understanding the defensive philosophy, and then being a great cheerleader on the court and off the court. He has it all.
Suns have gone to a zone. This is the biggest lead of the game now for the Suns, up by 11. And the zone is causing them some problems. David Anderson turned around, and he finished that one off well. The 6'11" guy who came in the league as a 29-year-old rookie. 53-44. Anderson has not played very much. He had only played in 3 of the last 14 games. Here's Dudley, rejected by Okafor.
Yeah.
Okafor's got good timing.
You got to get rid of that quickly.
Here's Paul the other way, and a typical Chris Paul all-star move. And Paul with 6 points. You keep thinking that maybe he's going to really put his imprint on this ball game.
You know, Jared Dudley, he's got to get more arc on this. You know, now this guy jumped, so Dudley thought that he would be able to get it over him because he jumped once. And then this guy takes contact well. I mean, he's looking for the hit and see if he can get the and one.
He missed the free throw. Robin Lopez has come to the ball game. Of course, Robin had those 3 quick fouls at the start of the game. It's good to see him in, try to reassert himself in this game. Off to Grant Hill, and Hill got behind the defense, and they didn't see him coming.
But froze Okafor thinking he would pass the ball to Robin Lopez.
Bellinelli can't finish. Channing Frye was in the vicinity, may have altered that shot to the trailing Nash now. 1:18 left in the first half. Bullet pass to Dudley. Dudley inside. That would be a dunk if it counts. Wait a minute. They're not going to count it. Alvin Gentry's upset again. What happened here?
I don't know. But Derek Stafford.
They called a foul on Lopez.
Derek Stafford was going to call it on Chris Paul. And Zach Zarba said no.
Wow, Lopez is snake bit tonight. I mean, he can't do anything.
That's
right.
Chris Paul. Chris Paul pulled Robin Lopez out of the way on that play. That's
4 fouls on Lopez in 3 minutes. So the dunk would have been the 8th of the year, and it's waved off. A minute to go in this first half, and Anderson can't locate the ball. Back it comes to Hill. Grant Hill going to be fouled by Bellinelli. Bellinelli doubling back, and he's got some foul trouble now. Bellinelli, angry crowd, and justifiably so. That replay showing that Paul really was hanging on to Robin Lopez. Bellinelli with his 3rd foul.
And Paul and Lopez got into it on the other end. Robin Lopez kind of popped him above the shoulder. And Chris Paul was coming back to the other end to say something to Robin Lopez, and Grant Hill jumped over there to make sure that Robin didn't say a word.
Tonight's Phoenix Suns basketball game is presented to you by Casino Arizona. Feel the win. And now coming in is going to be Garrett Seiler. It's only his 14th appearance of the season. Lopez going to sit down with 4 fouls. Lopez saying something to Alvin Gentry. This has not been a good night for Robin Lopez.
Well, you know, he has to understand he has another half. Refocus.
Grant Hill 1 of 2 from the free throw line. I mean, that's a lot of fouls, 4 in 3 minutes of play. 10-point game, 50 seconds left in the first half. Green brings it out to Ariza. Dump it off to Anderson. Suns continue to play the zone. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson fouled by Seiler, who just checked in.
But that play by Chris Paul is what got Anderson the shot. I mean, the Suns had him hemmed up, and he reverse spin right between 2 defenders and got the ball to Anderson. And that's why he's at the line.
It looks like he may come out of the ball game now. Jared Jack has reported to the scorer's table. As Anderson will go to the line. David Anderson came over in a trade from the Raptors for Jared Bayless and Peja Stojakovic. Rims it in. Paul will sit down as Paul, at this stage of the game, has a couple of fouls. They don't want to get his 3rd one in the last 35 seconds of this half.
Well, and really not having a great game in the first half. You know, 2 of 5. So the Suns have done a very good job on him in terms of assists as well. Only 2 assists.
Anderson got them both. They are 7 of 10 from the line. The Suns are 12 of 15. Here we go. 35 seconds left in the first half. Nash going inside, creating for Seiler. Knocked out of bounds with 18 to shoot.
Seiler didn't stick his hand into the area to grab the ball.
Well, you got to understand that he hasn't played a lot with Steve Nash.
Hey,
it's hard. You're right.
You got to take advantage of it when you get it.
You're right. Nash backing out now. It's about 10 seconds difference between the game and the shot clock. Nash gets a screen from Seiler. And he and Dudley weren't on the same page there. So the turnover against the Suns is their 6th. And now coming in will be Chris Paul as they'll try to engineer a final offensive effort here in the last 16 seconds.
Rule of thumb for any shooter, get below the passer so he can keep you in his sights. Jared Dudley knew right away he made a mistake.
And Steve Nash anticipating the very thing you were talking about. Now we're ready to go. Suns trying somehow to keep this one going. They've won 3 of the last 4, beating the Raptors after losing to the Lakers. They've won against the Warriors and Clippers, so they've won 2 straight here at home. Here's Paul. Ball comes in and hits it. And that makes it a 6-point game. That's a pretty big basket for them going into the halftime. As Nash, long shot, it will not go. And they are dead even in that second quarter, 29 points apiece.
Great job on Chris Paul, though. I thought kept him under control, and that's something the Suns have to talk about continuing at halftime because he's going to come out very aggressive.
He has 8 points in the first half. Coming up, it's the Toyota halftime report with Tom Leander and Tom Chambers. They're outside of the Bud Light Paseo. They'll have first half highlights and analysis. Stay tuned right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Phoenix Suns basketball is presented by Casino.
And not getting it done, and then it allows Steve Nash and Grant Hill to get some rest.
And the Suns trying to take advantage of a Hornets team that played last night without their leading scorer, David West. It's time to check the Jack in the Box inside the box score. Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day. Neither team shot the ball well early, but started to heat up in the second quarter.
Yeah, they both start to knock down some open shots. Jared Jack came in, played very well. Willie Green came in and gave the Hornets some help. And for the Suns, Jared Dudley and Aaron Brooks. I mean, those 2 guys came in, along with the normal guy that gets it done every time, Martin Gortat. And so I feel like the second half is going to be the battle of the benches. I think whoever wins the bench game is going to win it.
All right, I don't argue with that. Let's go to Mark McClung. Mark?
Yeah, guys, just talked to Igor Kokoskov coming out of the tunnel, and he said they got to continue to control the paint, get a little rhythm here to start the third quarter. He said the points in the paint, free throw attempts is really what they're looking at, and to not let Chris Paul get in the paint. Now, I think we should continue to bang the drum for Grant Hill, for all defensive team. The guys started it out on the set at halftime, but he held Paul to 8 points, and just, you couple that with what he did against Kobe Bryant the other night, and he's hasn't been feeling that well the past couple days.
Well, and you go back to Monte Ellis, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kevin Martin, all those guys he's guarded. I agree with you. In fact, I talked about that the other game before this, about he should be on that all-defensive team. Last one was Raja Bell for the Suns in 2008. Turnover comes back to Chris Paul. You hope this guy doesn't get it going, Chris Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
He is capable of lighting it up. Okafor brings it out to Paul. Just underway with Eddie Johnson. I'm Gary Bender. 6-point lead for the Suns. Channing Frye thought there should have been a charge. There was not. And Carl Landry able to connect.
They're not going to give it to him. So Channing's going to just stay strong and make him shoot over the top.
Here's Grant Hill, who had 15 points in the first half. Gortat, who had 12. 29 points from the bench. And other than Grant Hill, the next highest scorer in the starting department was Frye with 7. And that's what we're talking about right there is Chris Paul. He's the guy who can really get a string going. He's in double figures now with 10 points.
Cannot go underneath on him. That close. I mean, if he's 15, 17 feet, he's going to knock that down regularly.
So all of a sudden, it's a 2-point game. Nash with a mismatch on Landry out to Gortat. Face up. That's 14 points. He is rock solid with that face-up jump.
Yeah, and not great form, but it works for him. He gets good arc, good backspin on the ball, and he gives it a chance every time.
Not great form, but good result, right?
Exactly. I said exactly 4 times. That's a record for me tonight.
Landry, I set you up on that one, though. Landry is fouled as he wheels across the middle. It'll be side out to the Hornets. Suns broadcasts are made available in high definition by Verizon. Call your cable or satellite provider for HD information. You can say exactly when it is exact.
I won't say it again.
Okay, I'm going to lead you into that. I'll get you before the night's over. Here's Paul, and look at this. Here he goes. I mean, hey, come on. You got to expect this. Paul with 12 points now.
We talked about it before at halftime.
That's right.
I said that he is going to come out very aggressive.
2-point game again. Nash outside. Nash doesn't connect, and that goes over the back. Nash is 1 of 5 shooting tonight. He hit 1 shot behind the three-point land. You can see here in the early going, Suns are 1 of 4, and the Hornets have not missed a shot.
But not aggressive offensively. I mean, he's got to get more aggressive here to counter what Chris Paul's trying to do.
Here's Paul going in, and Paul's hit 3 straight buckets. Can you believe it? 58 all. He's on fire now. Look out. That's what you fear. Get him going. He can carry a team. Gortat, good ball movement. Out to Fry. 3-ball by Channing. Yes! Channing Fry with his second hit behind the line. He's a double figures with 10.
Jared Dudley not in an area where he's proficient. Grant Hill either, but you get it to Channing Fry around the top of the key. He knocks that down.
And there's a shot going by Carl Landry. So the second half, it's Hill, Dudley, Gortat, Nash, and Fry starting. Off it comes now to Paul. Are you interested in the fact that Carter is not starting the second half and he's played only 10 minutes in the game?
Well, you know, when you're 0 for 3 and you're struggling and you got Jared Dudley who's come off the bench playing very well, I mean, it's quite obvious.
Yep.
I mean, Alvin Gentry is really not brain science. I mean, you go with the guy that has the hot hand and is playing well.
Exactly.
There you go.
1-point lead now for the Suns, and Bellinelli trying to give the lead to this New Orleans team. Back it comes to Nash. Steve Nash does have 6 assists in the ball game. Waiting for Fry to clear inside. Inside 9 to go in the third quarter. Nash wide left, and the Suns right now are kind of stuck in neutral offensively.
Well, Gortat didn't get to an area that Steve Nash wanted him at, and Steve's not too happy about it.
Tell you, this has been a strange game. It hasn't been very smooth, hasn't had a lot of flow to it, not a lot of rhythm. This guy, Paul's starting to get some rhythm, though. Landry from outside, rebound by Hill. Suns still with the lead. Nash back the other way. Paul tried to pickpocket from behind, picked up the foul. That'll be his third. Chris Paul with 3 fouls. He says, who, me? He says, he bumped me on the way in. Good to have with us tonight NBA TV and the folks around the country watching this game. We have 8:23 to go here in the third quarter. The Suns with a 1-point lead. Channing Fry feeds into Dudley, and Dudley puts it up against the glass.
Channing Fry keeping his head up, and that's helped him a lot in terms of improving his all-around game, not just locked in at the rim.
Right. I should say, Paul's really upset right now. Carl Landry didn't come out, set the high screen for him. And it comes now to Okafor. Okafor backing in on Gortat. Kick it out to Paul. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Paul off balance. 3. Got it off to Bellinelli. Got it underway. And the rebound by Gortat. Good defense that time. Off it comes to Grant Hill. Hill playing superbly after playing only 6 minutes the last game because of flu-like symptoms. He's coming there tonight and has 15 points in 21 minutes.
All-around effort. Again, a day's rest for Grant Hill is like a week for most guys. He just needs a day. I mean, back-to-backs has given him trouble this year, but you give him a day's rest, he can defend Chris Paul and give you numbers as well.
That was the 8th turnover against the Suns. Ariza goes in, stays with it. And it's a 1-point game again. These teams split the first 2 meetings. They have another game coming up on the 8th of April. Big as far as the playoffs are concerned. Dudley goes in. Looks like Okafor got a piece of it, but Gortat was there. And he has now, in this ball game, 16 points with 9 rebounds.
And that's why if you're Jared Dudley, don't try to get creative and pass the basketball. Just put it up at the rim because Okafor had to come over. That allows Gortat to clean up.
Gortat is 1 rebound away from his 17th double-double. That is a franchise record in a season for a reserve as Carl Landry connects. Carl Landry got off to a slow start in the ball game. Now he's starting to come on. 12 points in the ball game. Nash into Fry. Bullet pass in the corner. Dudley, 3 balls. Gotta believe it. It was dead center. And Dudley now is 2 of 3 behind the line.
But give Channing Fry credit with the pass. Hit him right where he can just go up and shoot the ball in.
What did we say before the game? When the Suns hit threes, they're tough to beat. Well, they're 8 of 10 now. And there is a shot missing by Grant Hill. They come back the other way. Chris Paul operating with 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and we've got a charging foul. As hitting the deck that time was Grant Hill. Foul will go on Landry. And on Landry, that will be his 3rd of the night.
Well, that's where they missed David West. David West very efficient at using the 2-man game and not running guys over, establishing himself first. Carl Landry getting some big-time minutes, trying to get himself acclimated.
You just joined us again. David West is out for the season with a torn ACL in his left knee, and Grant Hill just connected on another 3. He is perfect behind the line tonight, 3 of 3.
I bet he shoots about 60% from 3 in the corner. Never misses.
Well, coming into the game, shooting 39%, but tonight, 3 of 3. Bellinelli brings it off to Paul, off to Ariza. Ariza's going to move in closer, sets up Landry, and he's going to be fouled. We're going to take a break. 5:26 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Grant Hill off to a sensational start. 18 points in the ball game.
Playing very well on both ends, keeping the Suns in front.
Well, the Suns for this game are 9 of 11 behind the line, and in this quarter 6 of 12. I mean, this is a team that when they are zeroed in outside, it's pretty hard for anybody to play with them.
Great ball movement though around the perimeter. You know, anytime you double team, you know, if you get it to the right guy, all of a sudden that pass, if it's pretty efficient, will find the open guy, and that's what's happening.
Carl Landry will go to the free throw line. Fans, Bacardi reminds you to celebrate tonight's game responsibly. If you choose to drink, please drink responsibly. Bacardi rum, established 1862. Carl Landry is a guy who came in the league with Seattle, traded to the Rockets, to the Kings, and then came over in the trade for Marcus Thornton, the guy we just showed on the flashback a moment ago. He's going to play a lot now with David West out of there.
A lot.
Big 6'9", 250-pounder in his 4th year out of Purdue. 3-point game. Biggest lead for the Suns has been 11. The Hornets at one time led by 4. Nash has taken 6 shots and hit only 1. Pass intended for Grant Hill. Hill had to track it down. 10 on the shot clock. Gortat sets the screen. Fry wanted to take a 3. Moves in and not able to get it. Rebound to Landry. That's something Fry's got much better though, Eddie, is going from the 3 to the 2, making that transition.
Yeah, exactly, and just take what defense gives you. Don't just get caught up in making the 3, and he's done a very good job at it.
Chris Paul outside now, trying to orchestrate something. I'm at Okafor, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Okafor is not one of those pick and roll guys that you use very often, and he was out of control there. Well, Grant Hill at the start of the night had 43 charges he's taken.
Wow. He takes a beating, but Okafor, trust me, he can't change direction.
You know, you don't know where that is in the league standings. A lot of teams do not keep that stat of how many charges you take.
He's got to be at the top.
Here is Hill, and Grant Hill doesn't get it, but Gortat does. Nice job by Marcin Gortat. 18 points, and he's got a double-double, his 17th of the year. That leads all reserves in the NBA. Bellinelli into the corner to Ariza. Back to Bellinelli. Nash flies by, and Marco Bellinelli can't get it back tap again. How many times has Okafor done that?
At least 4 or 5.
And there's Ariza, second chance points. And Ariza with 12 points in the ball game, and it's a 2-point game, and Gortat is down.
Well, he's holding the nose area like somebody caught him across the face.
I'll have to look at the replay. I don't know what happened. Aaron Nelson, the trainer's down.
Well, he's bleeding.
It may be his own teammate that caused this, and he is bleeding.
And when you're bleeding from the nose like that,
oh,
a lot of times it's a broken nose. Let's not hope it's that.
What's this now? It's Nash, I believe, that collides with it.
Ooh.
Oh, my gosh.
Jeez.
That's after the play was over.
Yeah, that hurt. Oh. You know, Steve, the back of Steve's head has been conditioned with that soccer. You know, he hits the ball off, so it had to be a hard blow there.
This really hurts because Robin Lopez has struggled tonight. You wonder if Gortat will be able to come back.
Weird. I mean, just weird because you think about it, Gortat is towering above Steve Nash, but just bending down and not really paying attention, trying to get back. I mean, that was right on target. Again, I just hope that's not broken.
I'm convinced, Eddie, who stays healthy is going to get in the playoffs. I mean, you look at what happened to the Hornets last night. Suns can ill afford to have Gortat out. I mean, Robin Lopez really struggling. Hakeem Warwick will come in as Fry backs in against Ariza. 3 on the shot clock, and Warwick doesn't get the bounce. Paul comes down to the rebound. It's a dangerous time right now for the Suns.
Yeah, but the Suns can go small. You can move Channing Frye over. He can guard Okafor. So, you know, that's going to give them an advantage in terms of Channing Frye on the perimeter.
It comes into Ariza. Ariza trying to tie it. Can't finish. Hill got a hand on it off. It comes to Nash. Steve Nash, 7 assists, pulls up. Doesn't get it. Rebound by Dudley, flying through the air. What do you mean he's not an athlete? You saw his ability to get in the air that time. And inside, we're going to have a foul. Bellinelli is tangled up inside with Hakeem Warwick. So Dudley will inbound, as that is the second team foul against the Hornets. Jared Jack's going to come in. Bellinelli will leave with 4 fouls. He's only scored 3 points tonight, 1 of 7 shooting. A night where, you know, he's either on fire or he doesn't find the range. And tonight, it's the latter. And Hakeem Warwick had batted away. Chris Paul coming back the other way. 2:49 to go here in the third. We'll try to get an update on Gortat as soon as we can, the extent of that injury. Josh Childress getting ready to come in for the Suns. Paul uses the screen, gets it in now to Okafor. Okafor goes up. And what they call it, a travel? A turnover.
Looked like it was another 3-second violation again. Okafor just camping out.
It is a traveling call.
Travel that time.
So Okafor turns it over, and that is now 9 turnovers against the Hornets. Suns with 9. 2:30 left to go in the third. Channing Frye with 10 points tonight, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 behind the line. In it comes to Channing. Mismatch with Chris Paul. And they're going to call a foul on Frye. He elbowed him as he made a move.
Waited too long to make his move. Once you get Chris Paul on, you go right away. You know, because that's the advantage right there. And he can turn and shoot that shot right away. He just waited too long, and Chris Paul got good position knowing Okafor was on the other side.
So again, the chance to tie or take the lead is New Orleans. And going in is Okafor had a block. Landry tied to follow. Frye comes down to the rebound. Nice piece of defensive work. Dudley outside. Jared able to connect. And Dudley now with 13 points in the ball game. 75-71. Dudley played 41 minutes against Toronto the other night. The bench scoring again, no surprise. 44 points. And coming off a game where they had 63. And that's too easy.
Well, you play a zone. You got to pay attention below the ball. Big guys down low cannot relax. They did that possession.
Suns lead the NBA in bench points, 40.3 on the year. Out it comes to Nash. Into Frye. And that's going to be a blocking foul this time. Frye crashing inside. Jack tried to get the charge, did not. Aaron Gray will not come in, and Okafor will sit down.
And that's what I'm talking about. You know, you get the advantage, catch it and go. You don't want to wait to give them an opportunity to bother you.
The text opinion poll powered by Verizon is, which Western Conference team is the most surprising? San Antonio with the NBA's best record. Denver after Carmelo Anthony left. Utah, disappointing season. Memphis, success without Rudy Gay. Text your choice to 88222 and stay tuned for the results throughout the game. Normal messaging rates apply. All right, Mark, what have you got for us?
Well, yeah, on Marcin Gortat, the verdict is a broken nose, and his return is doubtful.
You know, Eddie, you called that. You thought it was a broken nose.
Well, when it starts to bleed like that and they couldn't stop it, a lot of times that's what it is.
Aaron Brooks has now come in for the Suns. Nash will sit down. Brooks had an effective first half. He had 8 points in 9 minutes. Approaching a minute to go here in the third. Ball out to Ariza. Paul Dumps it back. Ariza 3-ball. In and out. Fry comes down to the rebound. Did a nice job jockeying for position.
Big time rebound. Got it high. Put those hands right up above Landry.
Landry's a strong force, and he was able to stay with it all the way. Here's Landry on the floor, and as he tries to come up with the ball, what do we got now? Is it off of Fry, or is it timeout? I think the Hornets called the timeout, and that's what it is. Landry diving, got the timeout. So 44 seconds left in the quarter, and the Suns right now, I think, a little bit out of kilter. When you get somebody hurt like Gortat, it really takes you out of your focus. And they're trying right now to get it back. Oh, I'm sorry, he said Eastern's going to be the West. So we have Denver, who's still doing well without Melo.
Right.
Portland has been an amazing story with all their injuries. Memphis losing tonight to Chicago, and Houston won 5 in a row. They are idle tonight.
Yeah, Denver to me has been the surprise. I mean, after that trade, they seem to have taken off, and the Knicks have gone backwards. Give George Karl a lot of credit for elevating that team after trading his best player.
I agree. Anderson missing outside. Anderson tonight 1 of 3. Coming to the last 20 seconds of the third quarter. Brooks trying to shake Paul. Two very quick guys against each other. Brooks with a beautiful running one-hander.
You know what? He does it with regularity. I mean, that is not something that he can't do every time. He has a nice jump hook going into the tall timber.
He surprises you. 10 points now for Brooks. Coming off a 25-point game against Toronto. Paul's going to shoot it up to end the quarter. And we come to the end of the third quarter. New Orleans outscored the Suns by 1, but Phoenix has the advantage going to the fourth quarter.
Because of the bench just being very effective, the Suns able to hold them off. Steve Nash on the bench to start the quarter. It's important they continue it.
And so the Suns, in a must-win situation, got some work cut out for them with 12 minutes to go. You can see the Hornets outscored them by 1 in the last. Suns jumped them in that first quarter, 27-21. Jared Jack starts his fourth quarter and connects. In that quarter that just expired, both teams shot an identical 47% from the field. With Eddie Johnson, EJ, I'm Gary Bender. Glad to have you with us. The Suns desperately need this win. The Hornets, after winning in overtime in Utah and without David West, trying somehow to keep it going in the second game of a 3-game road trip. Brooks from outside. I tell you, wow. Brooks is just right now zeroed in.
He rocked David Anderson backwards and then raised up, faded back, and drilled him.
You know, he struggled for a while, but he has found his niche now, and Willie Green comes back and measures it with a 3.
Pretty obvious partner. Jared Jack and Willie Green's taking all the shots with this unit. And so the Suns have to realize that trying to get the ball out of their hands and force these other guys to take shots.
Off it comes down to Josh Childers. Tries to feed Hakeem Ward. Ball got away from the Suns. It'll go to the Hornets. 80-78. Suns. These teams have split the first 2 games. The Hornets, a team that came in here clinging to the number 7 seed. 1 game up on Memphis, who lost tonight in Chicago. And Jack, as he goes in, there's an illegal screen set. It's going to go on Anderson. And you better be careful. Derek Stafford's been a little unhappy tonight. He teed up Robin Lopez earlier, and he looked at him like, just keep talking and I'll give you a tee.
Let him alone.
Fry will inbound for the Suns. Suns looking for their 21st win at home. They're 36-34. Number 10 seed. As of this moment, 2.5 games back of Memphis. Trailing Houston, the Rockets, who have won 5 in a row. It is going to be a wild race for the number 8 spot in the West. No, this is a long 3. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Boy can score.
Get it to Aaron Brooks, huh?
He can score that ball.
15 points for Brooks. Ariza goes in, and it's going to be off of the Hornets. Aaron Brooks right now is in the zone. Whoa, 6 of 7 shooting, and 2 of 2 behind the line.
Get out of his way. Really.
I think he's got the attention of the Hornets, don't you? Dudley in the corner. He'll try a three, and he got it, and he's fouled. Chance for a 4-point play, and so all of a sudden, a three by Brooks, a three by Dudley, which could end up being a 4-point play.
Well, both of these guys, along with Gortat, who's in the locker room with a broken nose, they're the ones that have been the catalyst off this bench and in this game. And Jared Dudley right now is flowing. You run at me? Oh, I'll put it on the floor and pull up.
So Dudley for the night now with 15 points. And for him, that's the 14th time this year he scored 15 points for the Suns. 85-78. Ariza brings it out to Green. Dudley had a hand on it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Green goes up the middle. Fry was there, and I think it's going to be on Channing Frye. No, you're going to call it instead on Josh Childress. What? By Aaron Brooks. This is as far out as you're going to shoot it, I would think.
Well, you know, look, clock running down doesn't make any sense in getting as close as you can. That allows Green to defend you. The surprise element is raising up about 3 feet beyond.
That's an Eddie Johnson type three.
I had no range like that. I have to be honest. And you know what? Look, you look at Brooks, weighs about what? 145 wet.
Well, they list him at 6 foot, but he's probably 5'10", too.
And yet, he's strong enough to raise up, and it looks like no effort at all. This goes to show you that young man has that shot wrapped around his legs, and he gets it off well.
That's a good point. As Green gets both free throws, it's a 5-point game. Aaron Gray's checked in now for the Hornets. The 7-footer. Dudley dumps it into Childress. Wheels it into Team Warwick. Warwick inside. Gray plays good defense, and now it comes to Landry.
You got to just throw it up on the rim. You know, when you try to get creative and you're not that type of player, it turns into a turnover.
And Paul sits up Gray, and Gray is fouled as he goes inside. Boy, I tell you, Chris Paul, he and Steve Nash make some passes in the interior that no one else can make in this.
Well, because they dribble and their head is up. You know, they don't worry about somebody sticking a hand in and taking the ball from them. And their head is up, and they can see everything developing.
16 seconds on the shot clock as they come back in. Landry starting in place of the injured David West tonight. He has contributed 16 points. Jack from outside.
Are you kidding me?
Wow, another three.
Please.
2-point game. Jared Jack now has 14 points.
I'm like, give Jared Jack that shot anytime, but I'm starting to shut up now.
Well, he averaged 22 points in the 2 games he started in place of the injured Chris Paul. Is that a foul on Paul? It's going to be the 4th foul on Chris Paul. Well, I tell you what, we have right now both teams heating up outside the line.
Yeah, they are, and this game is becoming very interesting. We talked about playoffs before. That's what the Suns are in, and they have one right now.
Does not even resemble the same player they had in Portland. The biggest difference is his confidence. Now, my question to you is: the Suns went small a little bit down the stretch. Do they do that tonight, or do they keep Channing on the floor the rest of the game?
I think they keep him on the floor because that keeps Okafor probably on the bench, and that's huge.
Channing Frye, by the way, has 5 assists, which ties his career high. 3 seconds, gonna have to shoot it. Got it underway. Boy, if that would have gone. Suns now are 10 of 13 behind the line. New Orleans in this half, however, is 3 of 5 behind the line. So they've started to find the mark. 2-point game. Jared Jack trying to get around Dudley. It'll be a blocking foul on Jared. Dudley picking up the foul. Coming in now will be Okafor again for this Hornets team. Gray will check out. Gray did a pretty good job defensively.
It'll be interesting to see who Okafor guards. I mean, you would think it would be Akeem Ward. And if he's guarding Channing Frye, he's not going to stay on the court long.
Willie Green brings it into Landry and hands it off to Jack. Chris Paul against Aaron Brooks. 2 very quick guys, and Paul shoots it over it. So they list Aaron Brooks at 6 foot. He's more like 5'10", and so Paul, who's a 6-footer, is able to shoot it over it.
New Orleans into a little zone here.
Yeah, and Paul now with 16 points in the ball game. Here's Aaron Brooks, and that's an illegal screen by Hakeem Warwick.
A lot of times that's the fault of the guy with the ball. You know, Aaron Brooks has to be a little bit patient there to allow Hakeem Warwick to get himself established. You know, you have to be patient. That play will work when it's patience.
Last time this game was tied when it was 8-8. Now we're tied at 85. Paul against Brooks. Like Paul wants to go to work against Aaron Brooks, and he has. That's twice in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a 7-footer right there, because Chris Paul can elevate over Aaron Brooks anytime.
And look at Brooks coming back, spinning it in, and drew the foul. We got a one-on-one match going between Brooks and Paul.
Wow. And he looks at Chris Paul and says that's a foul on Chris Paul. And Chris Paul goes over to talk to Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks talking a little smack. I love it. I love it. Chris Paul didn't like it.
Chris Paul with his 4th foul, too. Steve Nash is going to come into the Suns lineup for Dudley. Tied at 87. The Suns from the free throw line are 13 and 18. Grant Hill will come back in. So, other than Warwick, well, actually Brooks, they've got 3 of the starters in now. Fry, Nash, and Hill. Lopez started the ball game, had all kinds of foul problems, hasn't come back. Gortat is out, if you just joined us, with a broken nose. So the tie is still there. The missed free throw by Brooks. 87 all.
Suns with Nash and Brooks, which means zone.
And that's exactly what it is. Swinging around to Jack. Too tall for Landry, but retrieved by Green. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Green floater, and he's fouled. That was a heads-up play by Willie Green.
And I think Grant Hill lost track of the shot clock, because I don't know if you reach in and take a chance there. If he had known that Green only had about 5 seconds to execute that move, you just stay right in front and see if he can make the shot.
3rd foul on Grant Hill. Willie Green, the veteran, in his 8th year in the league. 76% free throw shooter, and he still has a tie game going. All right, our textbook question. Which Western Conference team is the most surprising? San Antonio, Denver, Utah, or Memphis?
Well, Denver probably after the trade, but overall it's San Antonio. Come on. Suns swept them last year, and now they have the best record in the NBA. And Tim Duncan is playing about, what, 23 minutes a game?
I
Who would
also
have known
think
that?
Memphis should get a lot of respect, too.
Yeah,
Lionel Hollins has done a great job with the Grizzlies.
Tremendous job.
They're going to reset here as we have 7 minutes left in this game. Alvin Gentry, since the All-Star break at home, has had a 4-2 home record. The last 2 seasons at home after the All-Star break, the Suns have been 32-7. They need to take care of the home court here tonight. Hakeem Warwick went up, met in midair by Green. Warwick at the start of the night had 73 dunks. He was headed for another one.
He really was. Took off a little too soon. Wasn't able to get to the rim there, but you got to come with the left hand. We got to teach Hakeem to switch over to the left hand.
Warwick 1 and 2 from the free throw line. Aaron Brooks has been a big story in this ball game tonight. Let's watch some of his highlights.
Well, theatrical. That's what it was. I mean, he is taking some tough shots, but easy for him. Why? Because he rarely gets in the paint. He knows he's going to encounter a bigger guy, so he is used to attempting shots that might look difficult to us, but easy to him.
He has 17 points in 14 minutes. Warwick got both free throws. He's 3 of 4 tonight. Suns as a team 15-21. Suns by 1, 6:49 to go. Huge game here tonight. Hall, beautiful setup, and Landers fouled hard by Hakeem Warwick. Warwick coming over, and Nash says, let's get huddled up. Let's talk about this.
Good recovery, but why is he that wide open?
I don't know.
That's the problem. You know, they're getting too many good wide open looks, and against the zone, again, I'll talk about it, below the defenders, you have to communicate and talk, because you can sneak behind and find a crease and get a great pass from a great passer.
He had a lot of ball on the block, but it's still the 4th foul on Warwick.
Well, and you put yourself in that position where the official has to make the call. If you're playing a zone, the one shot that you're trying to give up is a perimeter shot.
Landry at the
zone's the most dangerous guy. And if you can get dribble penetration,
since the All-Star break. Big overtime win last night. Nash missed everything. So Nash tonight has not been on track shooting-wise. He's one of pelvic injury, but tonight there's been instances where you Gortat is out with a broken nose, and Lopez has been ineffective. Mismatch now. Landry comes out on Nash. Off to Warwick. Baseliner. Got it.
he comes to the rescue, doesn't he?
Yep.
I mean, he'll sit for 3 games, and you give him a chance, and he will put stats up for you.
Yeah, he had 6 points in the last 2 games, and tonight he has 9. And going to have the foul against the Hornets. So the Suns will have it, and they have the lead when we come back. 3 points, and look at this tonight, already with 59, and we still have 5:48 left to go.
And we lose Gortat to a broken nose, and he had 18 and 10 in 27 minutes before he left.
Stretch. Aaron Brooks tonight has been simply brilliant at time with 17 points. Backs it out. Suns bench had 28 points in this half to the Hornets 7. Look at this. Boy, if that had gone, you and I would have stood up and applauded.
He didn't make Landry move his feet. He should have tried to at least attempt like he was going to drive and just rattle him back a little bit.
Jared Jack off to Chris Paul. Paul tonight with 18 points, and Ariza with a feed. And Paul, whose assists are down a little bit tonight. He has only 5, but that was a big one.
Yeah, and he caught that below the rim.
Tied at 91. Akeem Ward goes in, and Ariza got a piece of it. And Ariza with his 2nd foul.
You know, 2 different looks the Hornets got in the 2-man game. Gortat, physical, you know, big guy. Akeem Ward, explosive, quick. The Hornets has had a real difficult time against the 2-man game.
The local television home of the Phoenix Suns. And for even more information about the Suns, log on to FoxSportsArizona.com. So at the line is Warwick, and Brooks sits down with a very impressive performance. 17 points in 16 minutes.
I hope he don't think that down the stretch here, I wouldn't be surprised to see Alvin Gentry throw him in.
Well, Vince Carter has kind of been shoved out of the rotation tonight. He started the ball game, played 10 minutes, and hasn't been back. Warwick has been at the free throw line 6 times. He's hit 5 of them. Inside it goes, and Landry with a thunderous dunk, and we're tied again.
Thought he traveled on that one, but they're not going to make that call.
Landry with 19 points. He stepped up big in the absence of David West. Nash backing in. 4.5 minutes to go in this one. Grant Hill trying, goes to Fry. Fry with a 3. Yes! Bullseye for Channing Fry. Fry with 13 points and his 2nd of the night.
And Alvin Gentry quickly instructs his unit to get right back in that zone, or they're going man-to-man here. No zone.
I tell you, Fry just seems to, as the game wears on, get more effective behind the line, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That was right in the grill of the defender.
Yes, it was. Here's Paul taking on Grant Hill. Ariza now is going to slash inside and get to the hole. It's now a 1-point game.
Too long and wiry. He one dribble, he gets to the rim, and then once he's there, you're not going to block it. He elevates right over you.
So now Ariza for the night with 16 points. Nash brings it out now to Grant Hill. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Ward's got it in low, and they're going to call a foul on Warwick.
Well, and we take a look here, and that's iffy.
Yep.
But what Akeem Warwick has to realize is he knows help is coming from there, and you cannot make a
Warwick. Paul taking the charge. 1-point game. Well, this is where Chris Paul is so dangerous. And he tries to give him the lead. Can't. Ward comes down to the rebound. Ward playing with 5 fouls, has 11 points in the ball game. 3:12 left to go. Two teams meet again on April 8th in the Big Easy. Ward out to Dudley. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Grant Hill's been solid tonight with 18 points. They're running out of time. 3 seconds, 2. Poked out. The turnover. Here goes Jared Jack. Grant Hill challenges it. He blocked it. He blocked the shot. Unbelievable play by Grant Hill.
That was unreal. And now you know. 38 years old, Jared Jack going to put his team up a bucket, and Grant Hill says, get that shot out of here.
Diagnosis of broken nose the minute it happened. Here we go. Suns up by 1 after that superb defensive effort by Grant Hill. Nash, 3. Wow, interesting shot.
Yeah, but that's his shot. I mean, and it was down and out.
He's 1 of 9 shooting tonight, 1 of 3 behind the line, and he just sensed the moment. And he's done that before. It just didn't go for him. 2:28 left to go. Suns 11 of 17 behind the line. In the corner it goes to Jack. Jack's 3 is up and in, and all of a sudden it's a 2-point lead for the Hornets.
And the one guy on the court, you say, okay, and this guy is knocking them down. He has been huge.
17 points, 2 of 3 behind the line for him. You can see in the quarter the Hornets have not missed behind the line. Suns 2 of 8, now down by 2. That's a sweet shot.
Oh, that was big time. That's big time from Akeem Warwick right there. That was much needed. Stepping in for Marcin Gortat. Akeem Warwick, he's like, look, I can handle it.
Warwick has played 20 minutes tonight, scored 13 points. We're tied at 98. A minute 44 left to go. Paul trying to shake Grant Hill. Dudley now switches out on him. Paul wants the ball. Goes in against Dudley. Oh, man, he's really something, isn't he?
He has tremendous balance, just like Steve Nash. But the difference in Paul is he can elevate inside over the top of guys.
20 points now for Chris Paul. 2-point lead for the Hornets. A minute 24. As you said, it was going to the wire, and here we go. Grant Hill doesn't get it. Ariza with a rebound, and Monty Williams says, slow it down now, take your time.
It's all about stops here. Chris Paul normally is going to take the big shot down the stretch. Orange jerseys need to have an eye on Grant Hill to offer whatever kind of help you can.
7 seconds on the shot clock. Dudley trying to come out. 3. Here's Paul. I tell you, the guy's something. He's got ice water in his veins as he just nailed that one. A 2, and it's a 4-point lead now for the Hornets.
He's legit. He is the real deal, no doubt about it. They get the isolation up top, and he drills it.
So he's taken over here late. Chris Paul, the 4-time All-Star. He is 10 of 16 shooting for 22 points.
Well, again, you know, do you run and get the ball out of his hands? Tough to do when you know he's a tremendous passer. I think you live with that attempt, but he has stood up and answered the challenge. Everybody in Phoenix knew he was going to take that shot. Well, the drive is brought to you by Checker O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Aaron Brooks has had a sensational game tonight with the drive. Really has. That's a tough drive. So that's shooting the ball over a 7-footer. And that's the athleticism of Aaron Brooks.
So we have 54 seconds left. The Suns, who must win this game somehow to keep their slim playoff hopes alive, down by 4. Grant Hill has been a superb trigger man. Will inbounds. Neither team has any fouls to give.
Well, and because of that, don't rely on just shooting the 3. It's a 2-possession game anyway. So if you get an opportunity, put your head down and get to the rim. And what happens is you get a chance to stop the clock and knock 2 points off the lead.
Into Fry. He's got behind him Ariza. Dumps it off to Dudley, and Dudley's going to be fouled. That'll stop the clock with 48 seconds left.
And that makes it a long game. You know, sometimes everybody wants you to hurry to shoot the 3. No. The high percentage opportunity, you're in the bonus. Put your head down, get to the rim, force some contact.
Dudley's missed a couple of free throws tonight. He's 3 of 5. And the first one is rimming around and in. Tonight's game is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Make sure you find out about our next big sale. Text your email address to 83793 and sign up for Click and Save emails from Southwest Airlines. He used all the rim there, didn't he? Got them both. 2-point game. Timeout. 48 seconds left. The Suns realizing they can pull within 2.5 games of Memphis, who lost tonight, and 2 games of loss column against New Orleans. And it's been Chris Paul who has hit a couple of key baskets down the stretch.
Well, he's a big-time guy. You expect nothing else. David West out for the year. Expect Chris Paul to take over games now down the stretch. And he answered the challenge. I mean, I don't think the defense was poor at all. You're just dealing with one of the best point guards in the game, and he has made up his mind that he is going to take every shot down the stretch.
Well, timeout-wise, the Suns have 1 full. New Orleans has 2 20s. As I mentioned earlier, neither team has a foul to give.
Look for isolation again. I mean, some sort of 2-man game, but very methodical because they don't want to pick up a foul. But look for Chris Paul to isolate again and try to create something.
He is 7 of 8 shooting in the second half. Chris Paul is. Look at him. They're going to double-team the ball out of his hands if they can stop him. 14 seconds. Look at this. Whirling around. He just keeps dribbling. Finally gets it off to Jared Jack. 8 seconds. Ariza into the corner. Shot underway. Missing badly, but followed by Okafor. I mean, Green missed everything, but Okafor got there first.
Chris Paul would not give the ball up. I think what the Suns did defensively was great, but you got to lock him in. I thought he got him in trouble because he kept breaking the double team. That leaves somebody vulnerable.
Wow.
And that's what happened with Okafor. He got to the basketball.
And that is now 19 second chance points by the Hornets. None bigger than these. Okafor finishes inside. The Suns in a deep hole.
But don't try to rely on a 3-point shot.
Here comes Nash around the bend. He sets a screen off to Dudley. Dudley way out. Has to get it to Nash. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Nash goes in against Paul. Deflected. Paul came out of there somehow with a basketball. And now he'll try to stay away from people and then gets it to Green. And that is a very big basket there. 6-point lead. Hill sets up for 3. Can't get it. Outside it comes to Fry. Fry with 3 seconds. Can't get it. And the Suns are going to suffer a tough loss. 106 to 100.
That was tough. I mean, that's as tough as it gets right there. But the Hornets defensively, they got it done in the last few minutes. The Suns could not stop Chris Paul, and that's what happens. I mean, the top player, one of the top players in the game and the best player on their team solved the game late.
It's really damaging for the Suns' playoff hopes. Thanks to Tom Delnos, our statistician, and Sheila Simpson, our stage manager, for E.J. Eddie Johnson. Thanks, buddy.
My pleasure, sir.
This is Gary Bender telling you that the next Suns game on Fox Sports Arizona Sunday is the Suns will battle Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks. Suns Live begins at 7 p.m. now for much more in tonight's game, including Alvin Gentry's press conference and reaction from inside the locker room. It's time for Quest Suns Live for the Bud Light Paseo. And here's your host, Brad Steinke and Tom Chambers as they will analyze what happened down the stretch.